back in Pokemon Showdown. Now, I'm one of those people who feels that all of the Eeveelutions are kind of underused, and that only a few of them get used. And so I made a team of Eeveelutions, and I decided what kind of movesets would be best for all of them. And I made them, and I trained them up, and I actually have them in-game, except for I don't have a Rocky helmet on my Flareon, and I don't have the Glaceon yet. But I went and used them in Pokemon Showdown, and they just absolutely sweeped. Just watch the magic. So he sends out the Sableye, I go for Vaporeon, and he uses the Calm Mind, I use Acid Armor, and we just end up setting up for a while. Because with Sableye, you always want to get that set up, since he has the Frankster. Goes for another Calm Mind, Vaporeon hits with the Acid Armor again. Then he goes into another Calm Mind. At this point, I start trying to shoot out with Skull. And my hope is that he gets burned, but that doesn't happen until way later on, so hit him with another Scald. He gets another burn. And Vaporeon almost goes down to the crit hit from the Shadow Ball, and loses its special defense. And by the way, this is all from just remembering what happens. I go for the rest, and I use my Chesto Berry to wake up. He goes for a Psychic. The burn takes him down a little bit. He goes for a Recover. And then I try to hit him with the Ice Beam, knock him down. At this point, he decides to try and Mega, I'm pretty sure. No, it's turn after. He goes for another Ice Beam. Vaporeon goes down to the Shadow Ball. And then this is where I send out the Sylveon, and Sylveon just absolutely or no, it was the Flareon I sent down. Okay, the Sableye goes for Recover. I anticipate and hit with a Curse to get Flareon's attack and defense up. And I know Flareon has a good speed, but you'd want his defense up. So the Sableye goes for the Shadow Ball. Flareon is able to tank it out. I set up with the Wish so that next turn I can just hit him down for damage. Go for the Flare Blitz. He goes down. The Wish goes off. I go back up to almost full health. And at this point I really don't have anything to worry about, because it's still 1-1, but with his type advantages and what he has set up, he's basically playing on physical sweepers, and I have ways around them. So Flareon goes for the Wish. Unfortunately, it's ineffective, and the Weavile goes for the Foul Play to kill it before the Wish can take effect. And then the Sylveon comes in, and this is where it just starts to completely sweep. So Sylveon had the Pixelate ability, but he goes for the Calm Mind, just to try and get that set up. The Weavile goes for an Icicle Crash, gets a crit hit, not what I would have wanted. I send out my Umbreon, FYI my favorite Eeveelution, as you can tell from my Umbreon tribute. He tries to go for a low kick, doesn't really do much damage. I keep setting up with Curse and getting health back from the leftovers. And Umbreon is just one of those Pokemon that can completely tank. Like, you can just set up with Umbreon for days and he won't lose. And at this point, he takes out the Weavile to send out a Darmanitan. I go for a payback thinking he's going to attack again. I fail. The Darmanitan goes for a superpower. I think I hit it with a Moonlight. Or no, I went for a Curse. And then the next turn I remember I went for Moonlight. Yeah, he goes for the superpower again. Super effective. Doesn't do enough damage to take me out, unfortunately. So I go for the Moonlight. Get back up to 83% health. And at this point, he can just not do anything, really. Umbreon is just completely tanking. He's like, bro, come at me. You ain't getting past this. I go for the payback, gets that extra % damage just because he went first, and completely knocks out the Darmanitan. And in comes the Serperior, and unfortunately it does have the contrary ability. So I go for the Toxic, try and knock it out without actually attacking it. Unfortunately, with that 2-time special attack, it's too easy for him to kill me. Nearly knocks me out. I go for a Moonlight. Even with my boost of leftovers, he still takes me down. And at this point, I don't really have anything that's taking out the Serperior, unless I switch into the Glaceon. Which I did. He goes for a Giga Drain, nearly knocking me out. But then Glaceon goes for the Hail, and my version of Glaceon likes to use Snow Cloak, so the evasiveness is up. Serperior tries to go for a Giga Drain, fails. Glaceon goes for Wish, and I think the Wish fails because the Serperior attacks it this turn. It did. But it didn't matter because Hail combined with the 30% toxic damage is just going to absolutely destroy. So then I send out the Leafeon, and this is where it just gets unbelievable. Just because Leafeon is not a Pokemon you would expect to sweep, especially not with my moveset. Because my moveset, I go for the Grass Whistle, get the Tentacruel out, and what I found out with Leafeon is you can actually set up while your opponent's Pokemon is sleeping. Because you can go for a Grass Whistle, get him to sleep, use the setup, and you'll actually be able to do a heck of a lot more. So the Hail stops, Leafeon restores. Weavile goes for a Fake Out. And I realized I had 2 leftovers, but it didn't really matter. Because apparently it didn't get called out. Leafeon goes for the Lift Blade, gets that crit hit on the Weavile, knocks it out, and then he just has very low win condition at this point. Even though he's above me, the type advantages are not in his favor. So I go for the Leaf Blade. He's still asleep, and he's down to 13% health. I think I'm safe, so I go for a Synthesis. Get my health back, and then next turn I just completely dominate him with more Leaf Blades. He wakes up and tries to use an Acid Spray, not going to be enough to take me out though. And I finish it off with a Leaf Blade crit hit to the Tentacruel goes down, I forgot what it was for a minute. And then out comes the Metagross. Leafeon goes for a Synthesis, try and heal itself up. Metagross goes for a Hammer Arm. Unfortunately, it misses, and the Metagross doesn't get that much of what it wanted to. And then he lost due to inactivity, so I won with a Leafeon. Leafeon just basically swept through that team. This proves that Eeveelutions are just not as weak as people think they are, because no one really uses them because they think, oh, well, the Eeveelutions only have 2 good stats. They only have a 130 and a 110, and everything else is in the 60s. But if you use an Eeveelution right, it can be a complete monster, as you saw with Umbreon and Leafeon. They just completely tanked out and swept. But anyway, I'm going to leave this video here. That was me taking down with Eeveelutions and absolutely destroying with my favorite of the Pokemon evolutions. I did have another video, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time to put that in this video, because that video I think had 20 turns, and that's just going to take out the timer, so I'm going to leave this episode here. If you guys liked it, slap that like button as always, and I'll see you guys later.